What's up, everyone? We are set for a volatile week in the market, and we have some big news to talk about, so stick with us today because in this video, we're going to explain why the market dropped off and why it moved the way it moved, and some important things that you need to watch for the rest of the week. I want to start off by talking about one of the most popular electric vehicle companies over the past year, and that's Rivian. They announced that they're going to be laying off hundreds of its workers, around 700 to be exact, and the stock didn't do too good today. Tom, fill us in.
Yeah, it definitely didn't do too hot here, Mike. It fell down in a pretty big way, especially at market open, all the way down below $30 a share. And last week, Rivian stock was actually exploding, and it was pretty nice to see them up. We actually saw some banks come out this morning and actually raise Rivian's price target. But then Rivian came out with that terrible news, like you said, Mike. They're going to be laying off 5% of their 14,000 employees, coming out to around 700 employees. Definitely not good there. It does say that the cuts won't affect manufacturing, though. So that does sound promising that it won't affect manufacturing. Although anytime we see layoffs, it's obviously not good news, especially for a growing company. But I will say, Mike, a lot of companies have been laying people off lately. I know Tesla announced like a 10%, I believe cut with their employees as well. I know Microsoft and I think a couple other companies announced layoffs. So we'll have to see exactly what happens with this. But I know that, we've been hearing about layoffs across the board. I don't think this is necessarily too bad, especially since it's not affecting manufacturing. But, hey, I guess the market thought it was because that stock was down a lot today.
Yeah, so this week is going to be especially important and volatile because we do have some key economic data set to release, mainly the inflation data that will release on Wednesday around an hour before the market opens. This data will be so important because obviously inflation has been out of control, but also the Federal Reserve is in the process of balancing the, I guess you could say, process of lowering the inflation rate while at the same time not destroying the growth of the economy. So looking and getting readings off of this inflation data every month is very, very important, and it's just very, very important. So pay attention. Wednesday before market open, we're going to see a lot of big movement.
Yeah, we definitely are, Mike. We can see right here on the chart here, they're kind of expecting an 8.8% number here on that inflation data. The previous number came in at 8.6%, so they are expecting a bit of an increase there. It's definitely going to be big news, guys. Keep that on the radar, like Mike said. If we go look at the SPY today, Mike, we were really falling down today. I feel like the market is really de-risking ahead of this event. We're seeing a big market sell-off here. We ended up closing down around the low of day today, unfortunately. The SPY was recovering up a little bit intraday, but it's just in one of those type of bearish setups where we got rejected then at that like 386 to 387 resistance there. So looking at the SPY for tomorrow, there was a pretty big support here at the end of day, right around 380, 350 that we touched and bounced off of. That might be a pretty big level to watch for tomorrow. If we break below that, I'm definitely going to be watching for some sell-offs because, like I said, there's been some selling pressure ahead of this event. And I feel like with all the negative articles coming out and everything like that, it's kind of causing some fear to creep in here.
Yeah, 383.50 is going to be pretty big heading into tomorrow. In terms of resistance, there's definitely some chop right around like 387 or so, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. Up around 387 is huge. We got really close to it today at 386.80. So yeah, I would say 387. Even the other day, there was multiple bounces around 387. If we break that up, then I think we might have a pretty good chance to maybe come up and retest 390, which was the next resistance really up above that 387 level. So I'm going to be watching this bit of a channel here. I will say, though, I'm kind of leaning to the downside here. I don't know what your thoughts are, Mike, but yeah, just lots of selling pressure today, and I feel like that might kind of bleed off into tomorrow.
Inflation readings are always tough because you don't know what the data is going to be until it comes out, and it's like sometimes you can have, good economic readings and still have the market move in a way that is surprising. So these types of important economic events are always hard to judge because they're unique and you don't know until the data is released. However, looking at like just the price action of the market overall, I really wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow is just another boring day. In my opinion, today the market was very boring and it really didn't move too much. And honestly, that's what I'm expecting tomorrow. So we'll see what happens, but I feel like that's pretty typical to see before an economic data release.
Yeah, definitely. The market sometimes does slow down there. And, like we said, it just kind of really flat. It only really moved right at market open. Besides that market open, like you said, it was just trading between that channel all day long. So, yeah, really not too much there. And I don't think that we should really expect too much. But Mike, kind of talking about some of the other stocks in the market here today. I know, like getting into some of these stocks like Baba, for example, Zoom. I mean, man, these growth stocks were down a ton today. It just seemed like today was just a really bad day in the market for growth. Even stocks like Enphase, Meta, and stocks like that were really selling off at market open. Like Meta ended up down 4.68%. We even have Wynn Casino down 6.46%. And then like leading my watch list, Mike, I mean, Fastly's down 14%. I mean, like what's going on with these growth stocks here?
Yeah, it has been brutal lately. And, there are a couple reasons because of this. What I thought was very interesting is how lately we've been seeing such an explosive increase in the dollar. And I know this is kind of like a boring topic and not too many people pay attention to it, but Tom, would you fill us in on how the dollar's moving and how it just impacts, just trade and just the market overall?
Yeah, definitely. So we can see that right here, the dollar has been on a huge uptrend here ever since the middle of 2021. And I just want to reiterate that, guys, we had that very easy economy heading down into 2021, and the dollar was actually falling lower and lower. And remember, the stock market was hitting highs around this time. It was kind of crazy to see how high the market was getting there, Mike, for a while. And now the dollar is starting to rip right back to the upside as the Fed is starting to tighten up their policy a little bit. So we're starting to see, the dollar start to move up. This is going to obviously affect a lot of things in the market right now. Anything from trade with foreign countries to investments, anything that has to do with any type of currency exchanges, anything like that is going to be affected in a huge way. And keep in mind, the Feds do play a role in this. They can print money and stuff like that, and it definitely affects the dollar. But Mike, getting into a really good statement here off Trading Economics, because they have a really good way to kind of explain how the dollar is right here. So they say that the stronger dollar makes it cheaper for US companies to invest overseas, either in physical assets or foreign entities, leading to higher capital outflows. So pretty much what that means is, like, for example, if we wanted to invest more in the United States, the dollar you'd want a lower dollar, because then you wouldn't, have like an advantage to go out and explore a foreign currency or explore doing anything in a foreign country where the currency is different. Now, it does get a little bit confusing here, guys, but the main thing is like the economy generally likes a lower dollar, or at least a dollar that's not flying up to highs like we're seeing now. If we look at the dollar's chart, Mike, I mean, we are getting explosive up above the highs of like before the pandemic even. And yeah, it's getting so explosive right now. It's definitely, this is weighing in on the economy almost as much as just the inflationary pressure is.
Yeah, so mainly a stronger dollar, it mainly helps like foreign countries. So keep that in mind, but it's exploding and it's kind of rare to see moves like these. So we figured that we would cover it. But Tom, looking at the market for the rest of the week, I know we do have some inflation data coming out on Wednesday. Are there any other important events that we should know about?
Yeah, really. I mean, that's pretty much it on Wednesday, Mike, or pretty much it for this week. But whenever we get into like the earnings for this week, we do have some pretty big ones coming up. So obviously inflation on Wednesday, but tomorrow before open, we're actually going to have Pepsi earnings. So this is going to be a very important earnings season, guys. So we can see here there's a lot of articles coming out right now about earnings, and people are really saying that there's been warning signs from like Nike and Microsoft that the dollar's big gain this year might hurt some of their profits. Microsoft actually came out and said that the dollar is going to actually hurt sales by $460 million, Mike, just because the dollar is ripping up the highs. So that's pretty insane to see that would just adjust that much of a difference into Microsoft earnings. Also, Nike disclosed that that's going to hurt their sales too. So kind of interesting. But yeah, these are going to be some big earnings this week. We're going to get a bit of an insight into how the inflation and everything like that is affecting these companies. And I know Pepsi and Delta are going to be big on Tuesday and Wednesday, Mike, but these banks are going to be very important at the end of the week.
Yep, no doubt about that. Well, Tom, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have SPCE to the downside.
Yeah, SPCE here, they really fell off after ripping up last week. Go ahead and make them break below $6.55.
All right, with the next one, we have Alibaba also to the downside.
Yeah, these poor China stocks really gapped down hard here. Go ahead and make Baba break below 109.
All right, and with the last one, we have Square also to the downside.
Yeah, everything's down today, Mike. Make them break below $63.
All right, so we are watching Square, Alibaba, and SPCE for potential day trades to the downside tomorrow, only if they break below the levels Tom listed. And I also want to give a giant shout out to our member of the day, The Electric Man on YouTube. Thank you so much for all of your very kind comments. Tom and I really appreciate you. So thank you so much for the support. And then Tom, I also want to showcase the bot play from today, even though it was a dud. So of course the bot does very, very well, but it does not win every single play. So today's play was a dud with Zoom, but the five other most recent plays popped in an amazing way. So I guess you can say it's 5 for 6 for the past 6 plays, but we just wanted to showcase it today to prove that, it doesn't always win, just like no software out there does. So I always want to be transparent with you guys. So if you want to try out the bot, definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. It's awesome. 5 out of the 6 most recent plays popped for some very nice percentages. We'll say that. So definitely check it out. The link is in the description and the comments down below. But Tom, do you have any thoughts or anything heading into the market tomorrow?
Yeah, it's been a crazy day, Mike. I hope that some stocks can keep going up, and I'm going to keep a few on the radar here. So obviously, I'm still going to watch Twitter. All that news with Elon Musk has been crazy. Twitter ended up going down quite a bit today. But, Twitter's down, but I'm really going to keep my eye on DWAC or Truth Social. I will say this stock did very well today, closed up 20% after that Twitter news came out Friday. So pretty cool to see that DWAC or Truth Social is kind of back on the uptrend here. Mike, it's kind of curious. I'm definitely going to watch this for some more day trades possibly tomorrow. I had some very nice momentum. Also, I noticed today that a lot of these slower moving plays in the market, they were kind of performing a little bit better. So keep your eyes on stocks like, maybe Kraft Heinz, Carrier, stocks like that. They did a little bit better than, obviously most of the growth stocks did today.
All righty, there we go. If you like today's video, make sure to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. Let us know what stocks you are watching in the comments down below. And if you're looking for an awesome bot for short-term trading, check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. Besides that, be ready for a very volatile week because we have a lot of important things happening. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching.